So anyway, but there was, but the revenge on some of these Germans. They were the Germans. They were such a hate or something that they were losing their war. You know, so they grabbed any of those. And just that's it. But
so besides him, so that's your mother's brother who was killed. In immediate family, then within that range of immediate. Who else was killed during that?
They actually shot. No, and in that group there was no relations except that guy that used to work for us. He was Bronicks.
Bronicks, he got killed.
They picked him up because my mother sent him to town that time to pick up some groceries. She gives him like I said before, she gives him some change, and he on the list. He would go to the store, they give him the groceries, and that's it,
Right.
So he happened to be in town or walking on the street or something like that, and he couldn't explain to me. He didn't know what was going on. He couldn't explain. So they grabbed him, put him in the lineup by the school.
Your dad ran down
and my dad
heard
somebody told my dad quickly because I got Bronicks over there.
I think we got that. Your dad ran down and got him out of there.
Yeah, he got him out of that lineup.
Right.
And again, he talked German's good. So, and we were, the Eingeroch, so he had kind of, so they let him loose because he explained to him, they let him loose. So
other than that,
other than that,
just your mother's brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is pretty fortunate.
Yeah. So there's nobody's relations-wise, some of them were taken out of the...
But there were some close calls. I mean, if your dad didn't do certain things.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Oh,
yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So at what point, when you turned 17 and a half, they...
Yeah, so from then on, we kind of, because I was still going, with my dad going to the... We were hauling these logs and everything, in winter time. In the summertime, we work in the fields, all the time. I used to plow the fields and everything at my young age, but
when you were 15, 16, you were more useful now.
Yeah, oh yeah, I guess, I was working quite a bit, so it's, but the time goes pretty quick, right? But when I was going to the, I never forget, when I knew that there was going to be, when I got the paper to go to the army,
In the mail?
In the mail, oh yeah.
Okay.
It was just called like a regular army, just called. And so I was going to have we were went to haul the logs, so I was going to put my leg underneath the wheel and have it broken, or something so I wouldn't go, but that, or be crippled or some damn thing, but I didn't have the guts to do it.
Did you talk to your dad about it?
I never forget. What?
Did you talk to your dad about it?
No, I just got my decision.
It was an idea.
The idea, yeah. How they can get out of this,
Had you been hearing news from the front? Or, news and how the...
No.
Had the invasion occurred? Had Normandy occurred?
Not yet.
That was 43.
No,
that was before the invasion.
Yeah, it was not, No. So it's kind of, so I was kind of, what the heck? But I didn't have the guts to do something that drastic. And besides, the wheels on the thing were pretty narrow. If they went over the leg, might cut it off completely,
Maybe. A lot of weight.
Yeah, a lot of weight, sometimes, especially with the load on it, So I kind of, backed out for myself, backed out of that, and just finally I went. And I'll never forget, I was leaving the house and
yeah, so you just had a report. You got a letter saying you had a report.
Yeah.
Where, downtown Gorzno or something?
No, it was Bronicks, I think, or something. Anyway, I had to deport to a camp so and so. Yeah, there was an address on it, And so my dad took me to the train. It was about 7 miles to the train. He took me in the car, my mother didn't.
What kind of car did you have?
Well, no car, 2 horses.
Right, okay, the cart, not car, okay.
Car, yeah.
Do you remember what your mom said to you before you left? Or?
Well, you know, the usual type of man, just, you know, crying and everything. But my dad, he kind of, he took the bottle out and had me, we had a couple of drinks, you know, so I guess to kind of loosen up a little bit. He's like, okay. Right. So, and he said, okay. So we finally left, you know, and he went with me by himself, like, to the Radoshkin, as they would used to be called, their railroad station, you know, the closest one to us. He took me over there, and the train came, you know, I got on the train, off I go. But as a kid, like, you know, a young kid, you don't visualize that, you don't, I mean, you go into a front, you know, to fight, you probably fight, who knows what's going on, especially now, you know, you're going to fight with Germans, you know.
Not even your war, yeah, you don't.
It wasn't our war, you know, we didn't, you know, we knew how we felt about the whole thing, you know. And so, you know, so that's always, it was kind of this. So I can just imagine when I think of it now, what his thoughts when he was letting me go, you know. Yeah, so he figured, well, he kind of figured he'll never see me again, you know.
Right. So he just wasn't a very talkative guy that way.
Well, not really. Yeah, he would just kind of, he would keep it kind of to himself, you know, and he didn't want to expand on things too much, you know, very kind of,
After a couple drinks, did he give you any final words of wisdom or anything?
Not that
He probably wanted to, but didn't have the right.
Yeah, right. I probably wanted, but he, and
what do you say? You know, it was like
and it's
not easy.
Yeah, so he kind of hated, you know, to lose me, you know, in more ways than one, you know, and it's just was hard. It was hard. There's no question about it. It was hard on him, and so I went so far to meet a friend of mine, which was he was going to with me. We were called to the same time, and he was my age and everything. I just knew him. I didn't, you know, and we were on the train then together, but it was in a different. I met him further down in a different town. You know, I knew where to go. And we met. He came in with. So from then on, we went together. And by the way, he never did survive. He did die. He was shot. Yeah, he never survived the war. And
do you remember where he was killed?
No, I don't. I really don't. Maybe.
What was his name?
Oh, you know, I don't even remember, because I didn't know him that well. But it's just at that time I got to know him.
He was an acquaintance.
Well, the acquaintance came because they, you know, before the army, the Germans would take you like a Boy Scout, and that's where I met him. You know, because they gave you like a soldier training, you know, in these Boy Scouts. They were, you know.
It wasn't Hitler Youth or anything. It was just
kind of like a, you know,
pre-military training.
They call it. They kind of reminds me of Boy Scouts, really.
Yeah.
And so it's so I, you know, that's why I got to nominate. I really don't even remember his name. But
if you do remember it at some point, let me know.
Oh yeah, because my parents found out because they knew the where I went and, you know, whose son that was, and they let me know later on that he was killed. You know.
And do you remember how he was killed?
No, I don't. You know, my mother never did say. I don't know whether they found out or not. But when I got into the army, then, you know, even there, then I was, while being in there, I was quite often thinking, what the heck can I do to get out of this? You know, it's I just didn't, you know, I didn't want to do this because of the heck.
But so you just back up a little. You went to this town to sign up, and what do you remember from that day, the sign-up period? What did they do? You went in and reported. You reported to somebody, and what happened?
Oh, then you went home. That's it. Nothing. You know.
Oh, you just okay.
Oh yeah, just
kind of registered.
No, they're registered. Yeah, but you register as a thing. Then we would get coupons, extra coupons, and you were able to buy other things for, you know, if you were kind of had a little more privilege, but you were the third class type of, you know.
Did you go back home then?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure. So your dad sent you off like that, but not knowing whether you'd come back? And you did.
Oh no, that was when you sign up for that third class German.
That was earlier. Right?
Oh, that was earlier.
That was earlier.
Yeah,
so
that
now,
was,
no, but I'm talking about when they came and called you in. You got the orders to report.
Oh.
And you reported.
Yeah, I just got it by mail, and they came.
Your dad dropped you off, had a couple drinks. You went and
Yeah.
dropped you off at the train station. The train took you to the place you reported.
Yeah, met the other fellow. We went then to wherever it was, that town that we had to report to.
And take it from there.
Yeah. Well, then they took us. We went on the train right away, and we went all the way to Holland.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was Holland, and that's where we were stationed for a while, and they got the bootcamp, boot camp. And we actually then we saw how they would take us on some kind of tours, and showed us their defense stuff, boy. I mean, they were prepared by how we managed to do all because underground, everything. They had everything in the underground. Then, so even took us on the kind of on the defense on the,
coast.
For coast, to show it. But rather, it's reinforced everything in the ground, and it was kind of mind-boggling to us at that time, like young guys.
You're
like
17 and a half then?
Sure, yeah. But they just kind of wanted you to impress you, that see that, so we got all this, and of course then the boot camp, so they would just give us.
So what do you remember from boot camp?
Well, just the normal army type of thing, the marches for Pete's sake for 2 days straight, and stuff like that.
With a pack and a gun.
Oh gosh, everything, the whole.
They gave you a gun?
Oh yeah, you had to.
What'd they give you?
Oh, I forget. You got to Germany.
Some kind of German.
You have to, you have
gun.
to learn how to take it completely to pieces, put it back together, assembled, and clean it,
So they're real strict, I imagine. A lot of punishment for messing up.
Oh yeah, boot camp. No, boot camp.
Yeah.
So that's it,
Yeah.
But it's and I thought I was trying to figure out a way how the heck what am I going to do here, and so I don't know where I got all this idea, but
You're still thinking about how to escape.
Oh, well, somehow do something or something in myself so that I
injure yourself.
Injure myself. Yeah, that's what was main thing.
Yeah.
An escape, I didn't quite make but I injure myself. But I think, and then the thing came announcement that if somebody wants to go to a driving school, I thought to myself, wow, that would be a good one,
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't very many guys to go to, But I signed up. I said, son of a
Your
gun.
friend didn't, though.
Oh no, he wasn't with me anymore because we were
Okay.
separated
You got
by
split
that
up,
time. Yeah. So I'd go there. But I guess maybe the people, when you're driving on a truck in the army in convoys, you probably get shot first, something like that. So maybe these guys might be more smarter than me, and didn't sign up. But I signed up, and that saved my life, really.
Yeah.
That was this. I signed up. I went to school, and training there, and passed the training, got my license, and everything, and finally came back into the normal life in the regiment there, platoon, and and then I don't know how long it went, but the invasion started.
What do you remember from when that started? What Germans said? What they told you?
No, it wasn't. It just the invasion started.
You just heard that.
That's right. And you didn't know too much. You didn't listen to radios or anything like this. You just didn't.
Increased tension, though. Like
that's what you can
took things more seriously.
It was but it was kind of. I guess they tried to keep it quiet. And at night it was kind of. I don't know, it was pretty late at night. I don't know what time it was, but I'm laying in the bed, and and all of a sudden the alarm goes on, and they up, everybody outside, so what the heck is going on? And I tell and they told us, and I a few things that I had, like some of these photographs I had with me in the rosary. Naturally, I never had always my rosary with me, so I grabbed in and out I go, because we didn't know what is going to happen, what they're going to do.
You may not be coming back to your room.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. So we went outside and we said, we have to go in the buses and we'll be going to the front,
And you're driving?
No, not that, I was, so they told me, I'll be on the driver, but I will be with the driver because they needed two drivers all the time. Yeah. So I wasn't the main,
Yeah.
So I wasn't there, but if something happens to that driver, then I'll step in and have to drive the bus, So I had to be with the driver, So, okay. Yeah, so we, I don't know where the heck it was. Oh, it was from Holland.
Where?
From Holland.
From Holland.
Someplace, the camp was. From the camp, we got on the buses. It was quite a few buses. I don't know, maybe 15 or 12, something like that right now. But quite a few buses, when they call them, And we started going, right at night, and we started going.
Like 2 in the morning or something? Or?
Yeah, so at night.
And you're taking like infantry troops.
Yeah, right.
Across Europe
to the front. To the front, yeah. And they were traveling to France and onto the coast, And we were heading for Rouen, see?
Rouen.
Yeah, we were heading for Rouen. But I didn't know, we were heading for it, but I just knew that we were...
You're following the bus in front of you, I imagine.
Yeah, we just going to the front, that's it. But, it was on the coast, but what town, we didn't know, That's it. So, and it would be driving only at night, because at daytime the planes were flying around. And at night, so on our way, ever so often would light up the road, like that what they drop these phosphor or something with the
phosphorescence.
It was so bright, so all of us would stop and everybody jump out and run in the service. So even then, I was kind of thinking, boy, that's a good time to escape here. But I figured, well, no, I don't want to. I want to come closer to the front.
Yeah.
So it's so I came back, and that happened quite often. At night.
How often do you think?
At least couple of times every night we were driving. So we went, and so that, and then we were staying in like a forest. I think I told you once before. We started staying in a forest all day.
Yeah, tell us that again.
Yeah, and then, but they were getting impatient, and our commander, I guess, must have, he knew there was not far to go anymore, but he says, somehow he gave the orders, let's go, through the daytime, it was early afternoon. Let's go anyway, So, okay, everybody got on the bus, and off we go, and it was kind of, we got out of the forest, it was going like down, kind of a valley, and up, but quite a few miles. It was quite a stretch. So I'm surprised that he was taking a chance.
Maybe he was ordered to.
Maybe he was ordered
but
to.
They needed reinforcements now.
Right. So maybe he just said, "Yeah, let's go." Then he might have. We don't,
Yeah.
But somehow decision came that we have to go.
Yeah.
So we go like this, and we go all the way down to almost, and there was a farm. I remember only one farm on the right. And it came down, and all of a sudden,
American planes came down.
American planes somebody saw them.
Or were they British? Were they American?
I don't even know. I don't even know. They were planes, and so somebody that was observing saw the planes, and they were coming down, I guess, already. So we kind of to the farm, very close to the farm. At least all the buses, one after the other, stood, and when he stopped, I didn't wait for him. I stood on the steps, I was the first one to get up and into the farm there, into the garden. Like I told you before, there was a big tree, and I just kind of, when they started shooting them, because they were flying really low right over the trees, like, really low from one side, and they turn around, come back, and from the other side, and I would just walk around
shift around the other side of the tree?
That's all I was doing. Just the tree saved me, because they were pounding, bullets were going all over the place, and it just pounding, and they went on for quite a while. It's not just once or twice, but they kept turning around and just going. I think there was 2 buses left after they got through. 2 or 3 buses left.
Your bus was left?
Well, ours left, yes. Because ours was the closest to the farm. You know, right outside the fence. I don't know, somehow it got left, you know. Not damaged even.
Wow.
And so after it got a bit quiet, you know, and so they called us back and to go in. So I go in there. So we had to load up there, and there was 2 buses or 3 buses. The 3 was had to go to further, you know.
Still daylight.
Yeah, still daylight. But we were there for quite a while, though, you know, before we started going again. You know, it must have been beginning to get dark, but it was quite a while. So we go on the train and go, and it wasn't very far to Rouen from there. We arrived in Rouen then, and we got off, and in the daytime we were in a marketplace in the Rouen, right in the city.
Rouen.
Rouen, yeah, right in the city there, and we were stationed all day there, you know, before we went any further. We were supposed to go any further, you know, and so all day I said, so I kind of you lay there and you just thinking, you know, what the heck to do, and I saying my prayers and everything. What the heck am I what am I going to do? Because the front was not far, you know.
And you had seen a number of people getting killed in those raids.
Oh yeah, sure. On that raids there, I think 2 or 3 got killed. You know, one got sliced almost.
People you at least were familiar with.
No, I didn't. Okay. There's the other buses, not in our bus. So the other buses, but all we heard that it's.
So all around you though, people.
Oh yeah, sure. So, but anyway, so we drained there all day, and they said, well, okay, they got orders to go back. You know. I thought to myself, wow, I don't want to go back for as close as I can get to the front. And
could you hear any? Could you hear the front?
No, not yet. No,
okay.
No, we couldn't hear any. I said, wow. so I said, well, jeepers. So I got got on the bus, and we're going. It was night, naturally. Yeah. We I remember going going uphill and going north. You know. That's all I remember, going north, and I said, so then I just kind of sit the pray that just for the lighting to come on, so I could get a chance to
for another raid.
So I could, you know, I'm going. That's it. You know, and in fact, I even took a pistol up one of the belts, of the belt.
So he was sleeping. A German officer next to you was sleeping, and you took the gun away from him.
I took the pistol. You know, this what do you call it?
Luger? We talked about this.
You
holster?
Little drum. You know, little drum.
Oh, that's a revolver.
A revolver, yeah.
So it wasn't a Luger.
No.
Or a Beretta. It was well, it wouldn't have been.
Just
some kind of revolver.
5 shots in it, like, you know. And I took that. I said, because either me or them, if they ever get caught, that's it.
So if the raid didn't occur then, and he realized his gun was missing.
Well, I grabbed it the last moment, you know.
Once you heard the phosphorescence?
Yeah, once the phosphorescence. That's
you saw lighting, you took his gun?
Yeah, right.
Oh, and he hadn't woken up yet?
Because I was so close to the door, you know.
He hadn't woken up yet?
You know, so, you know, I couldn't.
You just saw the light before the first...
Right. Everybody
was
because the door in the back was just, everybody was jumping out. Everybody got excited, you know. And so I just grabbed it and off I go. That's it. I mean, we had to get out, you know.
So you didn't notice that he woke up and noticed?
No, I didn't even know. I don't know whether that's going. So
what was he, a lieutenant or he was just an officer?
I don't know, but it was. it was belt was hanging. He put the belt like.
Oh, it wasn't on his body?
Oh no.
Oh, perfect.
Belt was right there. I just grabbed it.
Gotcha.
And wow, off you go, you know. And I never forget that when I jumped out into the farm, all of a sudden somebody was covered with a white sheet, like, you know, it's kind of scary me, but I kind of just, and I went because I wasn't going to stop anymore. That's it. My decision was I'm going.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of ignored it, you know, whoever that, I don't know what the heck it was.
Was it somebody else?
The farmer, maybe, you know, something that I don't know what they were planning. But anyway, somebody was running out of the house, I think.
With a white sheet on?
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know, maybe.
Like surrender, don't shoot.
Yeah, don't shoot or something like that, you know. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, I didn't pay attention. I just kept going.
Uh-huh.
And there was a hedge. They like the fields in France, you know, they like in Scotland.
Hedgerow.
Hedge fence, like, you know, and the fields, you know, all kinds of. So that hedge was pretty tall, like your height, like, you know. So right next to the fence, I just kept going. And that hedge was going and going, you know, for quite a while. I ran for other kind of uphill a little bit. By the time I got to the hill, they're calling back everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear the voice calling my name too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went, boy, I tell you, I just...
You kept moving?
I kept moving. I didn't stop. Boy, I just kept going. Boy, I don't know how far I ran. But anyway, that night I went to kind of like a small forest there. And I spent the rest of the night under the tree there and just kind of, you know, I don't know whether I slept or not, I don't remember. And that's it. So, you know, so I said, well, okay, now what? Everything is nice and quiet, you know, what am I going to do now? You know?
And you got this gun with 5 bullets?
Yeah.
So no more, just 5 bullets?
Well, that's all I had, you know, because it was just me. You know.
Any food, water?
No.
Nothing?
No, nothing.
Just one pair of your clothes, one layer?
Yeah, that's
was it cold?
No, it was at the end kind of, what month it was, I don't even recall now. But it wasn't cold. It wasn't cold, no.
Uh-huh. Well, the invasion
it was still kind of summertime, you know. And
June 7th was the...
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so it was warm.
Could have been August.
Yeah, it was nice. So I went to and I see a farm just outside the little forest there, you know. So I said, I'll go over there. And I got inside, you know, the house was, you know, he called me in, kind of, you know, but it was by himself. There was
he noticed you?
Yeah, because I wanted to talk, you know, to see if I could.
So this is nighttime. You walked up to the farm?
No, that was a daytime.
Oh, and he saw you coming.
Yeah, he knew that I was coming because I was closer.
Did you have your hands up or anything?
No, I just, and I kind of, I couldn't speaking French or anything like that. Kind of, and he knew what I was after. You know, that was, you know, disaster. You know, by that time because he knew that.
What he thought was
and I said, but he was kind of looked very suspicious to me. You know, and by himself. There was no wife, nothing, no kids, nothing. But so he kind of told me to sit down, you know, and wait for him. I thought to myself, Okay. So no sooner he said that, and he kind of went out the door, I don't know where, and all of a sudden I see him walking towards the village. I said, whoop, that's not good. And the Germans were in the village, you know, the whole regiment was in the village, you know. And so I kind of, this is not good. So I just, out I go.
Running.
And because he's going to report that, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll go and went on the outskirts of the village, you know, kind of to the other end more or less, you know. And then I can't leave the village. Yes, so on the other end of the village, I stopped another farm, like, you know. It was kind of, there were more buildings than just a farm. I stopped in there, and that's when this fellow, you know, there was a family, and if that fellow, he said, okay, he took me, you know, he took me right away to a farmhouse, you know, the farm.
Barn?
barn, like,
Yeah.
yes, barn. And he says, stay up here, and he showed me to go up there and can, hide up on the top,
Hayloft?
Hayloft, right. There was straw up there and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I went up there, and I was there for about a week.
Oh, wow.
And he was bringing, and I was pretty safe because he was bringing me food
Uh-huh.
to eat, and so I think, oh boy, good, I'm okay now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you remember his name?
No.
Or what you?
I just, I
You
don't-
couldn't communicate because he didn't speak French.
No, it's just I was lucky to just be in a safe place. That was the main thing.
Uh-huh.
and
that was outside. That was east of Rouen.
Oh yeah, that was east.
How-
East of the Rouen. But
How far you think?
we didn't.
You didn't get too far.
Maybe an hour drive from
Outer
Rouen.
east of
something.
Rouen.
East, yeah. It's kind of going up the hill, yeah. And so he was bringing me about a week, and I was there at night up on the top. I think I told you before, and all of a sudden I see the cannons pounding, artillery banging like army really going,
From the west?
from the west,
So
from
the Americans are-
right from
Or
the front.
British?
And I knew that the regiment, and they were pounding because the regiment of Germans was just down the road a little bit,
And there was a town there.
That was a town, yeah,
You
small
remember the name
town.
of- remember the name of the town?
No, I don't. No, I wasn't there only.
If we had a map, do you think you could?
Maybe I could. I don't
Okay,
know.
I'll have to get one.
Yeah, it's so I pounding like this, and I don't know. I made a mistake really, but I should have just stayed up there. But I figured, gosh,
They're close.
They're close, and they pound us down. For the goes to 7 winds here, blow this place up for sure, Because so I not realizing like this, I figured I'll get out of here and somehow, and I came across a place and I look down this, and there's soldiers, full of soldiers, and they're running around. Germans.
Oh, jeez. That's right.
And they're running around like when everybody's grabbing a gun out they go, through the door, because the infantry here is coming, I guess, because they're shooting all over the place.
They're trying to set up some kind of defense.
Yeah, I guess so. They were trying to defend themselves, Anyway, so I finally jumped down, but there was still a couple in there, but somehow, but they were in the process of running out. They ran out. There was a window on the end of the building. I went through that window outside, and goofy at that time I done. They ran over to the French because they had a bunker. They were just getting into the bunker underneath the underground,
For the guy who owned the little farm.
Yeah, so I thought maybe they let me in there. No. I said, oh, stupid me, What do I expect?
So he closed the door on you.
So close the door. So I went and back into use the house as a cover, but because the bullets were flying off, use the back that barn